not just introduce myself, but say welcome. Listen, a lot has gone on this week. I mean, a lot. Good stuff. I want to say thank you to a lot of the partners. We started our clean sweep season this year. And so we kicked that off. I was going to try to put some pictures on here. It was just a great, great kickoff. And we also talked about our partnership that we are having with Harvard University, who is helping us identify our clean sweep areas, but also doing a study on community well-being, which is quality of life and also perceptions. And I think that's great. And so excited about that. And then, as you know, we have a clean sweep coordinator, which I'm ecstatic about. So I can just, let that gentleman do his thing. And so that's a good thing. And so that was a big kickoff. On the city side, as you know, we talked a little bit about that a few weeks ago, more than a few weeks ago. The mayor proposed his budget. He came on here and he spoke a little bit about it in terms of budget priorities. He sent that off to the Common Council. Council members, we had hearings both publicly and also met with commissioners and directors. And just yesterday approved the city's budget. And so excited about that, only in the sense that for me as a director, it gives me a little sense of direction. As a department head, this is where we're going to be going and what we're moving to. And so that was approved yesterday. We're going to be talking to you about a few things that are coming up within the city. But I will say this, it is hot. And so please, let's be mindful about, doing things outside, taking your time, just being mindful of being hydrated. There's a lot of community cleanups that are happening that we'll talk a little bit about that have.
I think Oz might be frozen.
I think so. It just
Yep.
kind of went.
So,
There's the Tulane
there he
Library
goes.
that has. Yep. Yeah, there's the Tulane Library that has information in regard to utilizing tools that you can use too, and they're a good partner, a good friend. So I just wanted to mention that a little bit. Oh, I am freezing. Okay. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pass it over to Nicole. Hey, Nicole.
Good morning, everybody. Well, good afternoon. So I'm going to share some of the announcements that we have today. There's quite a few. Some of them you guys have heard already, but we just want to keep reminding you of ones that seem to be pretty important. So let's see. Okay. So, as usual, just remind you guys about the City of Buffalo Water Amnesty Program, extended till June 30th. So as Oz mentioned, it's really hot today, so it's nice that we reopened 2 indoor pools. It started this week. So down at Casanova and the Lovejoy pool, you do have to make reservations by calling the pool facilities directly, and the numbers are provided, or you can find them online at the city website as well. We're going to be talking a little bit about this today, the Recycle Let's Do This. And so you're going to hear more about this from Susan Attridge when she speaks about it. To participate, though, you do have to register by June 11th. So just keep that in mind. Bulk trash schedule is still out. This week coming up, it is going to be the South District. So just reminding everybody to put out your bulk trash on Sundays for that collection week. So not during the week, but definitely on that Sunday starting that week. They've also released a list of roads that are going to be paved. So it is a pretty long list, it's a 5-page list. I just put up the first page, but you guys can find the entire tentative street list online at the city website. And so it is tentative, so it does note on there that things may be subject to change, but as of right now, these are the streets that are going to be resurfaced. Again, if you need to receive any public service announcements or just want to know what's going on in the city of Buffalo as it's updated, join Buff Alert, and you can text that 2 words, join, and then Buff Alert to 30890, and you'll be updated on different things that are happening around the city as they are released. City of Buffalo School Zone Safety Program. Again, this is still in effect. There's a number of locations. I know people continue to forget them. So the complete list is online at the city website as well. Talk of the Town, the mayor's radio show, is Sundays at 1 p.m. You can catch it on Facebook, or you can go to Power 96.5. We at the Division of Citizen Services are accepting applications for vistas. If you know anybody who would be a good fit, or want to apply yourself, you can get an application, contact me or Oswaldo for that. Mini grant applications are also available. The deadline for submission is May 27th. You can visit buffalonewyork.gov or email loveyourblock@citybuffalo.com for an application. And these applications are for beautifying your neighborhood and different projects in that realm. We're also doing the Great American Cleanup. You can schedule your own event between April 23rd and July 2nd. If you don't have an event that you want to schedule, you can volunteer at a cleanup event. You can register by calling 311 or email zcruz@citybuffalo.com for more information. PAL is sponsoring the summer camp campaign. So it's an opportunity to help children go to a summer camp for 6 weeks. There's several programs underway. And so you can give the gift of a 6-week camp to PAL youth and sponsoring a camper today. This is online at PAL's website, or you can email Police Athletic League at citybuffalo.com. They're also sponsoring a free summer camp in conjunction with Say Yes Buffalo. So you can apply at Say Yes Buffalo's website. And this is for kids who are between pre-K and 6th grade, but must be at least 5 years old. They're also doing free golf clinics. These are 4 Mondays. So you can also register online for this at buffalopal.com. And they will be taking place at the Delaware Park Golf Course. Nichols is giving away an educational opportunity for 2 African-American students living in the city of Buffalo. For 2 5th graders, they will receive the cost of tuition through graduation, including books and transportation. And this is sponsored by Nichols and the Crispa Foundation. So if you know anybody who might be looking to apply, you can forward them this information. This Saturday, we're sponsoring the Coopertown Community Celebration at Jesse Clipper Square at the corner of William and Michigan. The event schedule is listed here. And we are promising to have a wealth of information happening. So presentations, food, information, meet and greet. So it should be a very exciting event, followed by an event on Sunday, May 3rd, the Western New York Trash Mob, corner of Lafayette and Grant Street. You're gonna get a little bit of community, art, education, and come see the new trash can cages that are going to be located there. So this is sponsored by a number of different entities. So it should also be another fun event this weekend. So Let's Get Clean. The Community Action Coalition presents a neighborhood cleanup. This is also Saturday, May 22nd at 10 a.m. This is in the Town Gardens Plaza downtown. And they will be providing supplies and masks are required. The Board of Block Clubs meeting is next week, May 27th, 6:30 p.m. And they are going to be doing presentations through different entities are going to be doing presentations, actually. Buffalo PAL, Urban Christian Ministries, and housing presentations. So if you want more information on that, you can contact Debbie or Ellen or the BOB Buffalo Board of Block Clubs for assistance, or follow them on Facebook. There's a free annual clothing and food giveaway today and tomorrow between 11 a.m. and 4 p.m. Household items, blankets, shoes, raffles, bikes, TVs, and more. And so it's on Delavan in Norfolk. One of our very own Vistas is having a free virtual cooking party to teach how to prepare healthy, great tasting meals. Maybe learning how to lower your risk of disease. So this is going to be Sunday, May 23rd. At 6 p.m. and it's going to be hosted by Rachel Laster. Stand Up Buffalo has a survey that they would like us to take. Stand Up Buffalo and Bureau wants to know how's your internet access, and they're working on a plan to help you get affordable internet services. So I'll put the link for the survey in the chat box, and they want to know just how easy basically it is for you to access the internet and why you guys use it.
And let me say this, if you can make sure that you pass that information out, we have a pretty ambitious plan on trying to get as many people taking that survey. Um, there are dollars that are coming into different cities, and we want to make sure that you know and if we're going to look and make this investment in broadband or high-speed internet to the city, what are you feeling and what are your thoughts at? And so we're going to put the link in here, push that link out on your social media, get other people to make sure they take that. Thank you.
Followed by a second survey, which I also probably also expand on. The NFTA Metro is having a bus network improvement survey go out. This survey does end June 7th, so it's pretty close to now. And they just want to know about rider needs and priorities. So it is a brief survey, so we really encourage the same thing, everyone to take this and pass it along as well. As I don't know if you want to say anything more
No,
about that.
I mean, obviously, public transportation and mobility is very important when it comes to the city. And so this right here is as we look at the issue of how certain communities are impacted more so than others, is very, very important. That those communities that may have low ridership or underserved or not utilizing that we don't, we determine what ridership is, right? So NFTA is making decisions. They want to hear about you from the community. This is one way. So sometimes, and you're taking a bus, you got 3 or 4 jobs, you got a few kids, you're not going to take the time to take the survey. So take the surveys for those people in your community and have them do that, because real decisions are being made in regards to ridership. So thank you.
We do have a senior health fair. It is a drive-through health fair, Thursday, June 17th, at the Y on William Street. So you can RSVP. It's from 11 to 2. And then as you can see, they're providing different services for those who drive through, and there is lunch provided as well. Again, these classes, I know I mentioned before, there's still some dates left to them. If you do want to register, so Eat Healthy, Be Active, Building a Healthy Lifestyle, there's a couple classes left, so you can, email snapwny@gmail or register at the link. I'll put it in the chat box for you guys. There's also the Nurturing Fathers program, so this is Tuesdays and Thursdays. It did begin on May 4th. I believe there's 2 weeks left if you do want to register and still take advantage of this as well. Mondays and Thursdays is a family and friends smart recovery. So again, these skills to help you navigate relationships and stressful situations in life and provide support. So you can RSVP for any group. These, as far as I'm aware, are ongoing. And you can email ntaylor@wnyil.org. And those who need COVID emotional support, you can, of course, call the emotional support helpline, or you can email Project Hope at buffalourbanleague.org. Lastly, if you know anybody or experiencing, some stress yourself and you need Buffalo group support, parents and caregivers of children with autism spectrum disorders, they do have a group. It meets every Wednesday up until December. It's free, and you can register on Parent Network WNY for this group as well. So for COVID testing, of course, as always, you can go on COVID-19buffalony.gov, the city website it gives COVID information, vaccination information, and any services related to COVID that you might be seeking, as well as there is a COVID vaccination site popping up on June 14th and 16th from 2 to 6 at gerardplace.org. You can do both walk-ins and appointments for this as well. And if you do know of anybody who may need COVID-19 funeral assistance, again, this is through the FEMA website, and they'll let you know who's eligible, how to apply, and how you would get the funds. And this is dated back to any expenses that incurred after January 20th of 2020. And lastly, if you don't follow social media, please follow us on Facebook at Division of Citizen Services. I put the little @ sign there, but I'll drop the link in the chat box. On Instagram at Buffalo311. You can follow our Love Your Block page at Love Your Block Buffalo. And of course, make sure to follow the Mayor Brian Brown, on his Facebook and Instagram for updates as well. And with that, I'm going to turn it back over to Oz so he can announce our speaker for today. I think you're on mute, Oz.
Thank you, Nicole. Thank you very much. Someone privately chatted me and said, Oz, you're not wearing a bow tie or a tie or whatever. And I replied to, it is hot out there. You know, I do own a few of these shirts. I just want to let you guys know. I should also say we're working with Three County Health at our clean sweeps. Had a great meeting with them yesterday. And so we're gonna, like, I'll let you guys in a secret. We are going to have opportunities where people can get vaccinated at the clean sweeps. And so as we knock on doors and people say, oh, I haven't got vaccinated, we're gonna drive them and walk them over to the mobile site and have them get vaccinated. Obviously, under the care of professionals in that respect too. And it's going to be the Johnson and Johnson vaccine. And so, like, literally, very, very excited about that. You know, so let me talk about our speaker who's coming in, and obviously we are recording this, so we'll share this out with community people. From time to time, we hear from block clubs and community-based agencies about who they want to hear, and there are times where we will make sure that we pick a speaker that is relevant to what's happening in Buffalo. And so I can't think of another person who is as relevant as we are coming right now. She is a hard worker, a good public servant. The mayor has entrusted her with this concept and this idea or the thing that we do in terms of recycling. But she does much more than that. And so through the basis of recycling, she's worked with block clubs, she's put together campaigns. She's also, her and her staff have put together something regarding littering. And we talked about that too. She is one of the senior staff in the Department of Public Works, you know, and so she has access to the commissioner. And but this whole idea of littering, we understand, you know, as we have worked with Susan in our office, um, and I say this, you can't legislate behavior. Sometimes we wish we can, you know, but we have to find ways that we can, you know, proactively reach out in terms of behavior of people. And I'm talking about people just littering, right? You know, there are laws on the book. Of course there are, right? But, you know, can't be everywhere every time. And so we try to be more proactive where we have canned and do all of these things. But she's developed with her staff a great campaign. And I always say imitation is a great form of flattery. So when I see other groups that are out there doing this, and it's not imitation, it's you know what, can I say this? It's the right thing to do. It is the right thing to do. You know, so I think there are groups, block clubs, I think the trash mob and all these other groups who are doing this. Any way that we can help you from the city, we're going to do it. So let me bring on Susan Attridge. I know that was a long introduction, but the show is yours. Hey, Susan. Oh, I'm gonna unmute you. All right, today.
I'm the worst. I am the worst at this stuff. I wish I was better. Hello, Miss Ada. Yeah, hi everybody. I really miss everybody. I can't wait till we're back to normal and we can actually be in the same room. Yeah, so I'm just gonna I've been asked to talk about basically what it is that we do and go through some of our program that we're doing. Nicole, are you going to put up the PowerPoint? Did you see I sent you one?
Yes, I did. Do you
Okay.
want me to put it up or do you want to share it? I can share it if you want.
I can. Can you do it for me? Because I didn't prepare for that. But anyway, so my name is Susan Attridge. I'm a director of refuse and recycling for the city of Buffalo. I am responsible for the recycling program, both the infrastructure part of it as well as the outreach. But I do this work with my wonderful recycling coordinator, Bridget Hauk. A lot of you know Bridget. Bridget's been with us a couple of years now, and she's just doing a phenomenal job. Really has helped us grow and be more in the community than I was able to do with all my other duties. So she's really been great. So next slide, please. So this is basically the Department of Sanitation, which is, I'm one of two directors. We have a new director now, which a lot of you guys know, Wilmer Olivencia, who's fabulous. We're so happy we have him. We're sorry to lose Paul Sullivan to retirement, but Wilmer is awesome, and we're so excited that we have him in our team now. But basically what the Department of Sanitation does is the curbside collection and disposal of all your garbage, both residential and commercial. We distribute all of the totes. We have a crew that does that. We do the curbside collection of the bulk trash, 2 items each week. The loose and bagged yard debris, the single stream recycling, as well as the enterprise fund, also known as the user fee, which everybody hates, I understand, but that's under our department as well. So next slide, please. Mayor Brown, and I was so proud to live in a city where the mayor cares this much about recycling. But the mayor set a goal of 34% waste diversion. And waste diversion is basically anything you can get out of the garbage to stop it from going to a landfill. And it's a wonderful goal, and we've been really working hard to meet his goal of 34%. We were doing great, and then COVID happened. So I'm just going to ignore 2020, and we're going to get right back on 2021, and we're going to get up over 31%. That's my goal. But with COVID, our recycling curbside rates, the stuff in the green tote, was actually higher than we've ever done, which I was so excited. But the garbage was up even higher. So that really hurt us. People working at home, things that maybe would have gone in the commercial waste, didn't happen. So, but we're going to get right back on. We're not going to let it discourage us, and we're just going to keep going. So next slide, please. So basically waste diversion, which is what we call it. It's not just recycling, but again, it's reduction and et cetera, really are two things. Bridget is obviously our recycling coordinator. She's responsible for all of our outreach, which is huge. And as you know, that's where you see us the most out in your community, is doing our outreach program. But the other side of that is setting up the infrastructure that we need in order to have all of this programming that we have. And I just put a couple of them up there, but right now, you know, we do have the curbside, we have our yard waste collection. That all of these include vendors, private sector people that we use to help us process our material, electronic waste drop off, some curbside for our senior citizens and disabled residents. And then of course we have the Scrap It, where we have a contractor remove our food debris. Next slide, please. So, you know, as we, I didn't mean for that one to come up. So this is the food scrap program. It's probably the latest thing that we did that actually ended up growing and continues to grow. This is our food waste drop off. Buffalo will probably, it's very difficult for us to be able to do curbside food waste. It's an extremely expensive thing to do. And, you know, with our limited funds, because everything we do is based out of the user fee, we're probably not going to get there in my lifetime or with the city. So what we did was we modeled this after New York City's program. We had a lot of meetings with them, and we have a residential food scrap drop off that started off tied to our farmers markets in our group, some groups that we're working with. But at any rate, we have grown that at this point now to 2 permanent locations. The permanent locations have to be at a location where the business or nonprofit that adopts it will take care of it, will let us know when it's full. I mean, it takes something on their end, but then it's permanently there and people can drop it off. And this is an extremely popular program that the city is operating right now. For the people that are interested in doing it. So what I mean by that is, you know, this isn't for everybody to save up their food scraps, but for those who want to do this, they really enjoy it. It works really well for us. Next slide, please. Sorry about that. I forgot to turn my phone off. So these basically for our residents that you have your curbside, but we also have several drop-off programs for our residents. And, you know, the food scrap is one. Also electronic waste. We have expanded the hours. You may have known that we limited the hours when COVID first hit, just to limit exposure for people. That has now been extended back to its regular hours, which is Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. and then the first Saturday of the month. We do limit it to 5 units per year because of the expense. For your landlords out there who may have multiple property owners, we do have a system in which they can bring it from multiple residences with pre-approval. Secondly, our yard waste drop-off changed this year. We're now using the Get Her Done of Western New York site at 383 Babcock. Our residents can use that anytime they want. They just have to show ID to bring their yard debris. If they don't want to put it in their garbage tote or they don't want to bag it up, you can actually load it in the back of the truck and bring it there. And they do have free compost. Compost, people, not just wood chips, but the kind of stuff that you put in your garden to help it grow. Residents can get 2 bucketfuls of that at no charge. So that's really your prize for participating in this program. The other thing I want to just take a second to describe is the East Side Transfer Station. There's some confusion sometimes about that free ton that each property owner is entitled to. The caveat on that is in 2013, I think, or 14, the council passed an item that said only owner occupants get that free ton. So sometimes people will be a little upset because they're like, well, I own the house, I pay taxes, why don't I have it? And the reason that you don't is because that's what the council decided. So if you want to get your free ton, which is 2,000 pounds of garbage free, you have to go to the transfer station with 2 forms of ID. So those are basically all of our drop-off programs. So you have your curbside recycling, and then these programs that I just described are ways in which you can recycle more and then bring up our waste diversion rates. Next slide, please. Sorry to make you do this, Nicole. Another fabulous program that we started, and I just love it so much, is the Dare to Repair cafes. And this is where our residents can bring items to be repaired at no charge. And in fact, the goal of it is to have people sit with their repairer and maybe learn a little bit about how to go about fixing things. We live in a society now that it's actually cheaper to buy something new than it is to have it repaired. So often people will just throw it out, and that of course leads to more garbage. This is the tool library. Oz had mentioned them earlier as a great partner, and we certainly have found it as well. We formed this group with them. And, you know, we were doing great. You can see last year's, all of the events we had the last year before COVID, and then stupid COVID hit. So we're sort of regrouping right now, you know, getting some more back on. And the next one is actually not in the city of Buffalo. It is out in Williamsville. We were asked to do that, and so we did. And keep in mind that all the people that do the repairs are retired. A lot of them are retired. I shouldn't say they're all retired. People volunteering their time. So if you know anybody in your community that has this talent, please hook us up, because we always need more repairers. You can see how busy we can get at these events. Next slide, please. Finally, we have the Western New York Coalition for Donated Goods. And this is a group that was formed for the nonprofits trying to get clothing out of the garbage and into the hands of people who need it. These are excellent organizations that we're proud to work with. We have at least 2 events every year in which we collect used clothing and we donate them to these groups. And people, a common question is, You know, my clothes are old. Nobody's going to want to wear my clothes. Should I still donate them? And the answer is yes, because what can't be sold in the stores is actually sold as scrap. So the only caveat is they don't want wet clothes because that can, rot basically. So, feel free to put your towels and whatever in bags to donate because it still will benefit the group. Next slide, please. This is really Bridget's bailiwick. If you like our social media, which is at Buffalo Recycles in both Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, this is Bridget does all of this, and she is really good at it because when I was doing it, it wasn't nearly as good as this. But we really have been having a lot more campaigns trying to educate people on various things that we're working on through social media. These are some of the ones that we recently did. Right now, I think Wacky Wednesdays was actually our most popular one, in which we showed totes of contaminated material and asked people to help us identify what that was. And people really got into it. It was kind of fun. But the point of it all was just to help people to see that what you think goes into that tote may not go in there. And these are just, I'm not going to go through them with you, but these are some of the other ones that we did. Right now, we're working on the Recycle Right New York campaign. The city of Buffalo was asked to sit in on a group, a state coalition, to help to streamline the messaging on recycling, because we all know that you can hear, I just heard something yesterday on the television that Solo cups aren't recyclable, but Starbucks cups are. Well, how confusing is that? So this is to help streamline that and get the same language out throughout New York State. So you'll be seeing more of those on our social media right now. Next slide, please. Finally, very excited that we're going to be doing our Let's Do This campaign. And, yes, Oz and I spoke before we launched this, and we worked together every year on the Let's Do This with Citizen Services and the Board of Block Clubs. But normally the litter is really primarily done through the Keep America Beautiful, the Love Your Block, that sort of thing. But the litter this year, and I'm sure you've all noticed it, has been exponentially more. The masks, the gloves on the ground. Someone mentioned earlier about garbage being tossed out of window. I have seen it. Right in front of me, someone threw something out, and I just want to chase them down like a banshee and just like, but Oz is right. We can have fines, but you're not going to, it's very difficult to catch people doing this. So what happens is responsible people like yourselves end up cleaning up afterwards. Well, you should be rewarded for that. So the Let's Do This campaign is going to have a litter theme to it this year. And the other reason that makes sense is because studies have shown that litter and recycling go hand in hand. If you have a good recycling system in place, people are less inclined to throw it on the ground. If you have more garbage cans, Anne had mentioned earlier about down at the canal, even with the garbage can, people will throw it out. And that's true. But clean communities discourage litter, and recycling takes place in clean communities. There's just no other simpler way to say it. So what we're going to be doing this year is a couple of really fun things. One, we're going to develop an anti-litter city campaign. And we're going to go with that and start promoting it next year, but we need you guys to name it. So I've already had some clever things sent to me by one block club. I think he sent 10. So I just said you have to actually submit it. But at any rate, it's going to be fun. And we're going to select one. And then that will be used all next year with an anti-litter campaign that we're going to be doing. Secondly, have a neighborhood cleanup. Obviously, people are doing it already. Oz is the Keep America Beautiful through the Citizen Services has bags available. Our streets department for after your neighborhood cleanup will come and remove the material. If you have recycling separated out, which they do in a lot of the it's not Riverkeeper anymore, Waterkeeper cleanups, we provide recycling for them. They actually go through and get the bottles and cans, and we pick that up for them. But we'll help you every step of the way once your neighborhood cleanup is complete to put the material where it belongs. And by doing this, everybody who just registers and tells us about what they did that day, there's not going to be counting like there has been in previous years, but you will get a $100 gift certificate to either Elbers or the tool library. And we've always done the rakes and all of that, and it just seemed like that was getting out of hand and wasn't really helping people year after year. So this way, if you get the tool library for $100, you actually can borrow tools all year round, which is pretty cool. You don't have to store them either.
You said $100. I just want to be real clear. $100. That's a chunk of change. That's good.
Well, not compared to Love Your Block. I mean, 100, but I can't, I don't have your rich resources.
No, but I think it's another resource. No, but it is another resource for folks, who are doing the right thing. And I think that's a good thing. So I just wanted to make sure that everyone knew, there's a dollar incentive there.
But guess what? If they win the anti-slogan, they get 200. So if we select their anti-litter slogan, and they do the cleanup, then they actually get $200 and a community shredding event in their area.
Good.
So,
Mickey, you want to say something?
I was just going to say $100 gets that's the highest level, so it's like a block club level. You can borrow a greater amount of tools for $100 level, and that's where block clubs can do their own cleanups. Not just individuals. So that's a great incentive. But I appreciate that.
Oh yes, I think it's great. And they also accept donations, which I didn't realize, but they can't be gas over there. But the tool library is a really fantastic place. So if anybody hasn't been there, but this way, your whole block club can have access, and you don't have to have it stored at one person's house.
I'd like to just comment on the Dare to Repair real quick. That was a Vista. I think Maddie and maybe Dylan came up with that idea. I think it's great, and they just reopened it where they're going to start doing it again. Fantastic program. And Maddie, by the way, I just got to let Oz. I got to let you know she's coming back to visit sometime in July. We got to get together and just celebrate her. She's really good people. I'm so glad when
she went to the Peace Corps, right?
Yeah, she's in the Peace Corps, and she's coming back to Buffalo in July to celebrate with us, just about all the good things that they've been involved in. So she was the founder of the Dare to Repair program. So thank you for the Vistas.
Thank you for the Vistas. Yes, she was integral as we got it set up. She was integral in helping us get some grants as well. So, and I love Vistas. They've been so helpful all the way around. But to be sustainable, you have to have a Vista. You have to have somebody that will, stick with it. So, I don't know what the Vista situation is this year, but we definitely, are talking now about how we can either bring it over to the city or just assign a staff person that can actually keep up with it, because it's a lot of work. It doesn't look like it, but on the day of the event, you've got to, contact everybody. So yeah, I agree. I think it's a great program. So Bridget put up the application on the chat. If you want a written, or some people don't have computers, let's face it. Well, they wouldn't be on this call, would they? But, we can mail it if any of your members would like a hard copy. I would appreciate very much if you spread the word, particularly Ada and the other people who are the board of block clubs email list. I don't think I have the current email list, but if you guys want to mail it out to people, I would really appreciate that. Email it out, I should say, because we'd like to get back to, like, my goal is to have 50 people sign up. And I think we can do it. We just, June 11th is the deadline. So we're just really hoping everybody will spread the word. And then I think I have one more slide and then time for questions. I have to put up the bulk trash because it is without a doubt the most popular thing that I think the Department of Public Works. People have been really dying for this. And, we just ask that with the parking restrictions not lifted, they are lifted, it can be very difficult to get the bulk trash. So remember to follow the parking rules during bulk trash season, so we can make sure we get everything that we can when we go down your street and we don't have to return. So these are the two seasons that we're having. You can see that this Saturday there is a tire drop-off. The tire drop-off is limited to 4 tires per event, per resident. We have to do that because we only can fit so much, and it's really meant for residents. We've had people try to bring in 20 tires, and I don't know how many cars you would have that many, but at any rate, so that's what that is.
Well, and I just wanted to say, Susan, too, just being courteous or being respectful. I know if you put a lot of trash out there, and it may not be you, but everyone knows somebody on the block, and you park a car right in front of all of the trash for bulk trash. And then you wonder, like, oh my God, they scraped my car, they did this and that. And I know there's every right to park there, but and this is me, not Director of Citizen Services. Common sense says maybe that day you should park right there, especially if you're putting trash. And you can't help it. But again, if you have a healthy block club, you have healthy neighbors and say, hey, this is our day. Even if you organize that, little birdie tells me if you call Public Works and say, listen, we took all those cars off the street, they might prioritize that and say, hey, let's go there. So, it's about communicating and helping and doing that. And Susan, they always know I say this, when you're putting out your trash, what day do you put it out? You put it out Sunday that evening so that they can pick it up on Monday. So if they're in your district, don't put it out on Wednesday. Don't put it out on Thursday. Don't even put it out on Friday, calling 311 saying I put my trash out. Because you know what? Henry, and we all know Wilmer. Wilmer used to be down here with us. He's upstairs in Public Works now. Hooray for Wilmer. But they go out, they take pictures, and so they call me. I call them up and say, if I was on that, we have electronics, and we know what streets we've been on. They track all of that. So I just wanted to give a little commentary.
No, that's great. Yeah, it is an issue. It's very challenging. It was really challenging last year when people were all home. But again, signing up for that text alert is awesome because they actually tell you, they remind you, this is bulk trash, don't park there. So I definitely encourage people to sign up for that. I think that's the last slide. Is it, Nicole? Yes. So yeah, I'm open to any questions that anybody has. Probably no questions.
No. Just okay. Debbie had a hand raised. Debbie?
Hey, did I unmute? Yes, I did. Yeah. So listen, please send all that stuff to the bobcbuffalo@gmail.com, and our public relations team will get that out to everybody. So if you could just direct any of that information to us so that they can get it out. And we also have a general meeting coming up this month, so we can make sure that it's announced there as well.
Okay, great. Thank you.
We'd appreciate that. Okay. And this is looking like it's going to be a lot of fun. So I hope a lot of block clubs will join in. So thank you. Oh, Oz, John said thanks for the announcement.
Not a problem. You know, I got John. I got my man. I make sure them guys do well. In fact, you know, I have whenever the garbage people come in early in the morning. You know what? It's a hard job. You know, every now and then I'll leave them like some cold water for them. You know, and so that's just on me because I appreciate the work that they do.
Me too.
Any other quick questions? And I know you had a question. Maybe this is the opportunity to kind of talk a little bit about that. Why don't you kind of reformat your question, and we can kind of maybe put our heads together, see how we can deal with that.
It wasn't really a question. I think it's wonderful that someone reached out to me because they know I'm at these meetings. I thought that was kind of funny. And they said they were down at the Erie Basin Marina on the weekend and there was litter everywhere. And I said, well, you have to send me pictures. I can't just, put it out there. And so I got pictures today and I was told it wasn't as bad as the weekend. So there must be cleanup. And for the people that weren't here when I first raised my hand before the meeting started, there are trash cans everywhere. So it might be that when you develop your logo or your spotlight for the litter campaign, like when we were in the 60s, when the country had so much litter, they started the litter campaign. I'm thinking maybe do a stencil on the sidewalks.
That's a great idea.
I suggested it for our bike path when we first got our bike path. Instead of signs that say pick up after your dog, Candy and I talked about a stencil of a dog with going to the bathroom with an X. So I think that children, when they're with their parents, are walking close to the ground, and if there's something cute but not obtrusive, like do not litter, $50 fine, which is more signage, maybe your logo with a who's ever's good at logos, and then these can be stenciled on the ground.
Well, we did do that, if you remember correctly, with the stencils, and they were really popular when we launched the 34 and More campaign. So we actually had them designed. It's a great idea. What's your block club, Ann?
My block club is the Brinton Street Block Club.
Okay.
We're in the University District.
Yes.
But this was just someone talking to me because I come to the meetings about Erie Basin,
right,
because that's where all the tourists are.
Yeah.
And I saw the pictures today. It didn't look good.
Yeah. We have to figure out, because I know see that area, because sometimes parks may have a role in it. It may be, I don't know if it's parks. I think it's really, Susan, it may be the entity that Empire
Smith
State
Boys.
Development.
Well, in Smith Boys, if it's the Erie Basin Marina, some of that, if you go over by the boats, that's Smith Boys. They provide the garbage. Department of Streets and Sanitation puts out the garbage totes. We used to put out recycling totes, less so now because they just were all contaminated. But,
well, I think what we're seeing is not, boat people are usually very clean because they don't litter in the water. This is people walking and just throwing their garbage.
Wow.
This is individuals.
Yeah, I think your idea, I think this campaign is going to help us next year, and it's going to be a big focus. I also think I love the idea of the stencil. So I hope your group gives us a slogan. You guys participate.
Darren Cotton is the best with the logos.
He sure is. He sure is.
So okay. I'll unmute now. Thanks, everybody.
Okay, Mickey.
Yeah. Am I unmuted? Yeah, I think I am. One of my pet peeves is these televisions that are thrown out that aren't going to get picked up. They sit on the side. We don't get them picked up. Somebody comes over and breaks the glass to get some of the metal out of there to recycle it. Now we got not only an eyesore, but we got a hazard. We got these people can get cut or whatever. A couple years ago, I worked with Stepniak on. He gave me permission to go out and collect. Especially the university area, we'll have a ton of TVs thrown out right about now when the students leave. And how do we? We're only allowed to bring one or two. If you're a resident and owner occupied. So I'd like to see if we could do a campaign. I talked to some other people that we could store them all up. Maybe in the next couple of weeks, we'll probably end up with 30, 40 TVs. If we could bring those all in to Seneca Street at one time and clean up our neighborhood all at once, rather than, what I see in the past, even if you give somebody a ticket, did they really throw the TV there, throw it out? Do they still live there? We don't get anywhere with the ticket as much as the bottom line is getting that cleaned up. So can I get permission to maybe pick up these TVs in a large quantity and make an arrangement to drop them off at Seneca Street?
We would have to look at that on a case by case basis. I wouldn't want everybody doing that. First of all, 30 TVs is a lot to unload, and I definitely hear where you're coming from, but it would take some logistics to make that arrangement. And I know you, so I know that you're collecting it from the neighborhood, but there are people who have also asked to do that, and we don't know them, so they could be running a TV shop or something. So, you know, this is a residential drop off where it's what we're permitted to do. That's all we can accept. So, I mean, if you and I can talk offline about doing that, if you don't mind, and then,
Sure.
you know, kind of talk about how we would go about doing it. When do you think you'd be bringing them in? Will you have people with you to help unload? I mean, that kind of thing. But, you know, I understand you're doing good works, and there are other people too. We've had the old councilman that just retired from Lovejoy, Fontana, Rich Fontana. He used to go around and collect them, and he actually brought them in one time, and the guys denied him. I was like, guys, that's not okay. So yeah, so let's talk offline, and we can I don't want to do a universal on this call. Yeah, we can do that anytime, because I think we really have to take it on a case by case
Yeah,
basis.
or maybe even couple it with a city sweep or something, you know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we cannot do off area drop offs. Debbie knows why. We did
Yeah.
one with Debbie's block club, and we probably got more there than we ever got, and then
3 truckloads.
Yeah, and we're going to transport them with a truck. It was impossible, so we will.
And so let me
any of those.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so let me say this, because this has been imposed upon us, and Susan knows this. So it's actually a law. You know, I think the city of Buffalo does that as a courtesy, but it's really the responsibility of the person who owns the TV. Now, what's happening is people dumping it, right? But they're saying that when you purchase the TV, it is your the way you bought it is the way you should dispose of it, right? You know, you're that responsible partner. And so I think you're right. And I know Susan will touch base with Mickey a little offline about that. It's the same thing with tires. We've done tire drop-offs. And I remember one of the first ones we did a while back ago, you know, there was a guy that came with a huge truck. We're like, where did you get these from? We figured where he got it from because he had a tire place, right? You know, and he was just doing that. So, you know, but I know Susan to talk to you. Debbie, you're next, and why don't you close us out?
Oh, okay. All right. I'll close you out. Yes, Susan, that was a big one. I remember it vividly. Basically, Board of Block Clubs is meeting next Thursday, and we have some great speakers coming on board. We have Urban Christian Ministries that would like to talk to the block clubs about doing a basketball on their blocks and doing a little fun things with the kids, keeping them busy. We have the Old First Ward will be with us, PAL. Judge Philip Dabney is going to stop in and give us a quick scenario on city court and what's happening with that. So we have really great speakers lined up. We're looking forward to it. So please, please, please like our Facebook page, email us. Our information is always in the chat. Our flyers go out as soon as our speakers are confirmed. If there's a speaker that you're looking to have at the general meeting, please let us know about that. And we will work very hard with Citizen Services and so on to get those speakers. It is now 1:01, and as Oz always says, we are very good about time with people, and it is Friday. It's beautiful. It's over 80. So you all have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. Stay safe, stay well, and we'll talk to you all soon. How's that, Oz?
Good. Thank you, Debbie. Appreciate it. Listen, have a great weekend, guys.
Thank you for the opportunity. All right, bye-bye.
When the day that lies ahead of me Seems impossible to fail when someone else instead of me
Okay.
always seems to know.
All right. I see I have Mike in the background just hanging out.
Hey,
Hey, what's going on?
how are you?
I'm good. I'm good.
Mike was like, man, that was smooth, man. I was like, nah, there's a whole production behind that. There's a whole production behind that. Woo. Anyway.
I like your polo, Oz, actually.
Thank you. See, I'm, it's my relaxed mode. Come in. Come
Hey,
in.
before I forget to tell you,
Oh,
um,
your two favorite vistas are saying hi.
hey,
Hey, Nicole, I miss you.
I'm gonna text you guys.
Listen, just text me. I'll text you my address.
Okay.
Mhm. Okay. So what did you got for me?
My friend hit me up. She just started. I'm gonna send it to you. Juneteenth. So not we have Juneteenth here. We have they just did the Freedom Walk thing. So they're doing Freedom. Oh my God, I just forgot the name. She's been messaging me. Freedom Walk
Yes.
Juneteenth, but it's a completely virtual event that spans from New York City because that's where she's from. But now she lives here to Buffalo, and she's pretty big here. She does stuff with kids and stuff.
Yep.
So she started the event. They're promoting it pretty heavy. So I was going to forward you their flyer.
That was yours.
My bad.
You had the key?
It was
Thank you. I'm like, I left my drink in there, but I didn't want to.
Yeah, come here.
Fine.
And then we'll talk more. Okay.
Monday?
Yep. I got you. I got you.
Enjoy your weekend.
You too.
Okay, thank you.
Oh,
All right. So let's do that then.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna send it to you. I don't know if we could be, I mean, she's lined up so many Black people and she's all inclusive, but I at least want to promote
Worry about
it.
it. I got it. We shared. We're good.
If you need help,
No, I'll hold on for a second. No, we're good.
Don't worry about it.
Sorry.
You're welcome.
You're okay.
Yeah.
I can tell you later.
Yeah. Call me up later. Okay. All right.
Okay. Oh, one other thing, I am gonna send you the quotes. I'm waiting for the lead times so we can decide if you'd rather spend more, get it quicker, the clean sweep bags. But the
Okay.
one guy who's cheaper, he takes forever to respond to everything. So
Now, so yeah, all we need is two bids and then we put it on there, right?
last time I didn't even send it to purchasing, to be honest. I think I just went with the cheaper person and they didn't say anything the
I
first
would go
time
with
they
the same,
did.
go with the same person who put it in, right?
But he's like their prices are drastically different this time because we're getting 4,000 bags. So they
How
dropped the
many?
prices.
When we get more, it's
Mhm.
less. Okay.
Yeah, and then the lead times increase. So that was the thing. I was trying to find out who could turn it around by next week. Because the one guy said 10 days, and I don't know if you would
No,
wait 10
let me
days.
say this. We have bags. I'm just ordering
Oh,
more. We have bags. We
okay.
have tons of bags.
Yeah.
I'm just making, I'm stocking up on the bags.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
That helps you. And
Okay.
then I need to order some polos. I got to find out where to get these polos.
Just
That
maybe get them from the same place Zumadi made the
No,
t-shirts. Do they
but
have
there's a
those?
place that I got to find out in City Hall who does polos, and we can just go,
Oh,
and we get the city logo on there and everything like that. So
okay.
yeah, Mike said he needs a polo.
Oh my gosh.
Look it up.
All right, I'll
All
give you a
right.
call later on. Okay. All right.
Okay. All right, bye.
Okay. Whew. That's always a. She can put information on there.
Yeah, reach out.